All right, just a few minutes to go. I will put the game up. Check on stream. Guess everything's kind of looking okay. So let's have a chat about decks, shall we? Which one of these has decks? Okay, so um, let's look at the crab deck first. So it's called Aggressive Crab. Um, what's kind of stand out in here? Hikaru, during a conflict, sent home an attacking character with higher military skill. That's interesting. Taka, uh, River of the Last Dance. What's that do? If you. Oh, okay, it's just an action, discard some cards. I guess that's kind of nice. Is this the only Caillou wall? Pretty sure it is. Yeah. So I guess this basically says during a conflict at this province, do some stuff. Got some ducks. Some Maze of Illusions, a bit odd. Want to raise the alarm route? I don't know. Don't like the ducks. Guess we'll see if they come into play during this game. Compass? Yeah, I'm not sure. Guess we'll see. Guess we'll see. Oh, what's he got province-wise? Frostbitten, defend the walk in your wasteland, shrug off despair. Does Frostbitten go on the box? Shrug off despair pulls people off the box, so I guess that's kind of nice. I mean, in an odd kind of way. Guess if you're not running Talisman, maybe it's a poor man's Talisman. Flooded Waste could be a nice surprise. Cuny Wasteland? Let's see what the Phoenix has that can be turned off by Cuny Wasteland. Maybe Adept to the Waves abilities, a new owner. Ugina? Yes, Ugina would be turned off from that. Tadaka and Shrine Maiden. So a couple of things. A couple of things could be hit by Cuny Wasteland. Phoenix, George's Phoenix by L5R. Surely that would be. Oh, that's not George's Phoenix. Must be. I have no idea. Upholding Authorities, Crusader, Seeker of Void. So some good, basically a good province lineup there. Does Retired to the Brotherhood go onto the box or into the row? Well, if it goes into the row, then I guess it has to be Shameful Display on the box because really nothing else makes sense. So I feel like Retired to the Brotherhood is probably the box province here. Some Peacemakers, Blades, and Pacifism is always interesting. Ofushikai, that's kind of nice. Not nice, but like, it's an interesting choice. It's a pretty decent skill block, and actually, uh, doesn't look like there's any attachment control in the crab deck besides Way the Crab. Although Way the Crab's kind of like an everything control. Yeah, what else we got? Inspired Visionaries. I'm liking this card more and more. Like if I was the Phoenix player, normally against Crab you might see, well he does, he's got reprieves, right? So Inspired Visionary can come down and maybe box for the favor, stand for the favor, and then as soon as the fate phase begins, he can he can knock the reprieve off people, which is pretty cool. You can also bring back his own tattooed wanderers, giving them a bit more of a long life. I'll just tell these guys I'm ready to go whenever. Oh, hang on. Have we had a remake or something? No, doesn't look like it. Guess we're just waiting for the Australian player to join the game. They're all in chat, so he's around somewhere. Oh well, let's keep looking at decks. Normally I don't have enough time for decks. Now, plenty of time. Oh, what have I done? Alright, looks like it's about to start. So I guess Zeren actually, maybe Zeren's the Australian player. L5R is the French player, this guy. Nothing else really interesting here. He's on 5/5s is the restricted card. What is Crab's restricted card? Imperial Palace. I love it. Alright. Both players kicking off to a really swift start, mulliganing some cards, choosing their stronghold provinces. I like that IMS is seeing a decent chunk of play these days. This new stronghold, Kudenhita for Crab, seeing lots of play. It's a really, really nice stronghold. Oh, looks like that little maneuver of mine got rid of all of my windows. Just put them all back up. Okay. So what do we got? For the Crab player, we see a Keeper Initiate, which is kind of nice. He buys Tadaka with no fate from the box instead of the Gallant Quartermaster. This is a bold, bold maneuver. On the Phoenix side, we see Solemn Scholar, Regina, Tsuki, and Iona. So you got to buy low. I mean, this doesn't really look like you are going to get away with the crabs, but I think Iona's not going to help you. Regina and Tsuki is too big a risk, so I think you got to buy the Solemn Scholar. So let's see. Just making sure everybody can hear me as well. Yeah, Solemn Scholar with 2 fate seems good. All going well. We probably should see like maybe a display of power. How many of those is Phoenix running? 3 display of power, so you should be able to see one early. Phoenix probably looking to get control of the favor at the start of the game and take a bunch of fate into turn 2 if he can do it. Maybe at least 2 fates. Before having a good think about his sequencing here. Being second player, you don't necessarily have to like you can force your opponent to make all of the first moves and then react to what they're doing as second player. So Crab passes their first conflict. I think that's good, right? So the Phoenix probably passes their first conflict as well, forcing the Crab player to attack first if he wants to, or not. Political poke with Solemn Scholar onto the Imperial Palace. Imperial Palace is a good choice because it's got +2, so if that ended up being Upholding Authority, it's a 5 to break. so not too much of an issue. The Phoenix player is not really playing anything that could buff the Solemn Scholar really in order to break a upholding anyway, but I guess it's good to know. Maybe we see a defend the wall. Not a defend the wall, a mountain doesn't fall. Nope, just going to send home the Solemn Scholar with a rout, taking the Earth Ring off the table, so Solemn Scholar's ability is not going to be activating this turn. Also keeping Hitakasata on for the next conflict. The Phoenix has probably got a pretty good sort of nothing ability, which is their stronghold at the moment, um, in order to cancel out Hitakasata if required. I really like this new feature on Jigoku, the cards played during a conflict. And the crab does play a mountain to straighten Hitakasata. Oh, defend the wall forces the Earth Ring to trigger, and he pulls a display of power. I feel like that's probably okay because that display of power really wasn't going to get used this turn. Hitakasata looking at a shameful display. He doesn't seem to have any way to get out of the conflict, so I guess he's looking to win here and pull in that Keeper Initiate. I feel like this is a play for the favor. If he wins this conflict, he's going to get 2 rings. Oh, well, actually, he's going to get the favor anyway because of Imperial Palace. Never mind. Crabs don't need no favor. That display of power would have been really handy right here. Maybe there's 2. I think it's unlikely, but maybe. Sometimes we do draw cards and, copies of cards we already had appear in our hand. Okay, so it looks like Crab's passing. IMS. IMS was used on the Scholar. Oh, he's defended, of course. Okay. So military conflict it's really going to be tough to win a military conflict here, right? Is Phoenix just playing to not break? No, I guess he's just playing to honor the Solemn Scholar. What got cancelled by Casada? IMS's ability. Yeah, okay. Yeah, I think IMS usually used to help people get the favor, but right now, with that Imperial Palace on top of a defend the wall is pretty strong right here. Oh, I'm sorry. I thought that Crab was Keeper of Water. I'm so used to Crab being on Keeper of Water. So no Keeper Initiates here. He's on Keeper of Air. What does he want air for? I don't think there's any cards in the Crab deck that require air. Does not look like it. So Tadaka coming down. Pre-playing the reprieve on Casada so that Tadaka doesn't pluck it out of the Crab player's hand. Tadaka looking to do some damage here with a bowed Casada. A play on defend the wall seems strong. He's hitting it for 5. He needs just +1. He's only got one fate. The Phoenix player's only got one fate. So what could we see? Maybe a Tattooed Wanderer, a Shrine Maiden, a Bonsai. He's got 3 Bonsai. Classic, right? Only one Storm. That's an interesting number of Storms. How many characters can we discard here? 2 characters. So Phoenix plays his 1 Supernatural Storm on Tadaka, getting the absolute minimum amount of value out of his total number of Supernatural Storms this conflict to break Defend the Wall. Does seem good. Maybe that 1 fate could straighten the Tadaka to get 2 Standing Glory for the favor. That'd be really good. Probably I should check to make sure he's running against the waves. Have seen decks without it. And this is a deck without against the waves. Okay. Oh, the floor pays let go on the reprieve. So that Tadaka is going nowhere. Didn't break. What happened there? Oh, Casada cancelled the storm. That's unfortunate. That is unfortunate. He did pick off a Watch Commander with the Sawa Tadaka, which is kind of nice. But with that Imperial Palace sticking around, yeah, I think the storm must have been a misplay. I don't know why. He must have just forgotten that Casada's ability is on until he loses a conflict. Yeah. So actually, I was wrong before. Um, with it being cancelled, that's the absolute minimum amount of value you can get out of 1 Supernatural Storm in your deck. um, I don't know. I think I would really have preferred to get rid of the Imperial Palace. Whether Tadaka's ability goes off in that turn doesn't seem particularly relevant. I think the Imperial Palace is going to have more long-term effect on the table. You can activate Tadaka next turn or the turn after. You're first now, so the Phoenix player can attack Void first and take that off the table, so he kind of gets a decent amount of value out of Tadaka, and he knows where Defend the Wall is. It's this guy. You know what? I should make this bigger for you guys, shouldn't I? Okay, so let's say I'm going to send you home if you're stronger. So a Crisis Breaker and a Hikaru. Crisis Breaker with no fate. Crab only having 1 fate left in the pool. Must be saving up to something interesting. A Reprieve or a Watch Commander or something. I can't wait for those ducks to be played in this game. Phoenix is going to pass a conflict, and Crab's going to play a duck. So on the Phoenix side, we see Sukune. That's probably not too bad against Crab. You're not necessarily guaranteed to get dishonored. You're probably not going to get clouded. I mean, there's no clouds in the Crab player's deck, so this is going to be ring effects for days. Going scouting with Sukune could be a shameful. Shrug off despair. Hikaru defending. He's just going to activate and bat back that Sukune, right? Yep. He's going to nab himself a Void Ring. Crab's not on Unicorn Splash. There's no like talisman or anything like that to move us over to defend the wall. Now Shrug of Despair is kind of on, right? So this is the poor man's talisman that we were talking about. So at other conflicts, if he ends up losing, or if the Phoenix can't muster up enough force, Crab can just go, well, I guess we're attacking over here now. Phoenix could play a conflict character into this conflict. Hikaru's ability has already been used, but I feel like the amount of investment required by the Phoenix player right now to get over the top of this Hikaru might not be great, might not be, you know, efficient. What do I know? He's going for it. A political conflict, no less. What are you going to do here? You're going to like court games this guy and then box to get over the Hikaru and get the ring effects? I guess that's okay. Benton's? No. Benton's wouldn't be worth it. So we see a court games. That's exactly what he's going to do. He's going to box to get over the Hikaru. He's not going to break the province, but he is going to get the ring effect. So he's invested 2 cards so far into the conflict, whereas Crab's invested none. We could see Tadaka get activated. How many characters are there for him? Only one in a hand of 11 cards. It's a waning hostilities. Seems like this is a defensive crab. Maybe aggressive crab was kind of like a, you know, this is a defensive deck, but I'm going to call it an aggressive deck. So 3-3 attacker winning. A compass compass comes down for a card. Phoenix is losing again. Doesn't seem efficient at all. Although he is, one card, only one card over invested, but he has used IMS. If this was like a Ring of Fire, maybe I would probably do that because your counterplay with Sukune would be really good, or your counterplay with Tadaka. So L5R opting to pass and not get the Void Ring. So this compass basically used for its +1. We'll have to wait till next turn to see if it's going to be used for its ability. Actually, Crisis Break are going to attack water, so maybe we'll see it this turn. Into Kuromori on military. Kuromori. Crab player is playing 1 court games. So if he defends with Shiba Sukune and he has a court games, you know what happens, right? You court games and then your opponent court games. Yeah, waning would would be quite an interesting play into Sukune actually. So Sukune blocks and takes the Ring of Water. I think L5R probably should just play his board position here and pass out the rest of the turn, not bother with conflicts. Actually, no, forget that. Tadaka can go for a conflict. The Crab's all bowed out. So maybe Tadaka makes another play for that Imperial Palace. What could Crab do about that? Raise the alarm? That'd be funny. Imagine raising the alarm and out pops like a Tadaka or something. Sorry, not Tadaka? Kasada. Crab. I feel like is unlikely to have his way of the Crab in hand because earlier this turn would have been a great time to play it. even if you're losing something like a Crisis Berserker. Flooded Waste? Yep, Flooded Waste. Well, that ends that really quickly. So we're back to using Sakune to get the ring effects. So my money's on fire and earth, right? That's what you do. Who's getting the favor? It's 1-1 at the moment. I guess it stays. Stays with the crab player. Oh no, it's the crab player because of Palace. People don't play Palace enough these days. I keep forgetting it's even a card that, can be played anymore. I mean, what could the face down province be? Maybe upholding or something? People forget as well that against the waves can be used to bow your own characters, giving you an amount of protection against things like upholding authority. Sorry, I was just trying to think about whether or not he should have used that ancestral shrine. He should have used it, right? Like +1 honors, +1 honor. Yeah, Earth and Fire, honoring Sukune and getting some cards, as was prophesied. So Crab in the driver's seat this time. We see, what do we see? Dynasty phase. Oh, it's a dupe. Sorry, my bad. I saw one fade on Hikaru and I'm like, I thought that was basically where we were last time. So we've got the Phoenix Clan champion on the Phoenix side and the son of the Crab Clan champion on the Crab side. And a signaler. What's a signaler do? Yeah, I kind of like that. Can be used while during conflict in which this character is defending. I'm not sure. Not sure. Let's see how he plays it. So we see a 4 to a 5. Phoenix drawing a little bit more cards than the Crab player. There's a 4-card hand disparity, but otherwise things look pretty even. So Crab attacking on military. If he loses this one, he's less honorable, so he can come home straight, which is a fantastic ability. The restricted card in the Phoenix deck was a policy debates. It was not. What's the restricted card in the Phoenix deck? Oh, it's consumed. Okay, so don't need to worry about the jewels from Hideyaku's ability. Sanpuku Sato could be a challenge. Could be a challenge. I was playing a game earlier today and I lost a conflict on my Senpuku Sato. I forgot that Lions Pride Brawlers could bow people. I don't think Phoenix needs to do anything here. They can just click for Tadaka again if they want. Well, they can't actually. Yeah, Phoenix doesn't really need to do anything. If Crab passes, which I'm sure he will, then Phoenix should just pass, and that's the end of that. People sometimes forget that conflicts are a resource. You only get 2 of them a turn. So a card like Senpuku Sato, where you know almost nobody can buff Glory except for Phoenix. Super strong card. Before passes, Zarin plays Maze of Illusion. An extra 5 ME. So, did Maze of Illusion go off? It did not go off. Gotta love it. Got to love it. I wonder if the Phoenix player just rolled the dice there. That's what I tend to do. Perfect cut. If there's a strategy around Maze of Illusion, you guys got to let me know because right now I'm just randoming it. Zen plays a perfect cut to maybe honor Hideakimo. Oh no, he routes to Darker Home. That's a good play. So that's both routes used from the Crab player. Now he is winning and beating Sampuku Soto with Ring of Fire. Can't be used on Kade, but it can be used on Sukune. The four passes, giving up Sampuku Soto. So, goodbye, Haughty Magistrate. What does haughty mean anyway? Shibsukune back to normal honored status. You know, I have to say I really like the design of the recent Phoenix characters in the way that they've created this kind of asymmetric stat to glory kind of ratio where you've got like a 1-2 character with 3 glory. If you honor it, you get a bigger benefit than if you dishonor it. If you dishonor it, it goes down to 0. At least that's what I tell myself. I don't know if the economy of that works. And Yakumo still standing. And he won, so he gets the honored token off of a perfect cut. Phoenix plays Cloud the Mind on Hikaru. Okay. Is Hikaru equal or greater or just greater? With higher military. Yeah, you're right. Discarding the Magistrate turns on Asana Tadaka. I'm sure in their chat they probably, you know, realized that right after. They probably didn't even talk about it. Sometimes discarding characters is just automatic, isn't it? So we're going to see Phoenix come in on the Ring of Earth, onto Shrug of Despair. I guess maybe why not? If you go anywhere else except defend the wall, you're probably going to end up at Shrug of Despair anyway. Although, probably you should use it. If the Phoenix player doesn't manage to break here, then Shrug of Despair is now on for the next conflict. So maybe you should have gone to Flooded Waste and then make them use it. Crab defending with Hikaru, and he doesn't have an ability, so what are we going to see? It's not breaking yet. Shrug of Despair having a problem strength 6. Crab putting the decision making back onto the Phoenix player. Although, to be honest, do you want a Sukune or do you want a Kade? Kade is going to be around for longer. The answer, you're going to honor Kade. Now it's breaking. So now, whatever the plan is for the Crab player, we should see it. Still no good targets for Way of the Crab. Zarin plays Calling in Favors, turning on Hikaru's ability. Do we have another Cloud for Hikaru? Or maybe a Send Home in the Phoenix deck of some sort? I'm not seeing any Send Home. Maybe we should see a Cloak of Night so that something sticks around. Could we see a Cloak of Night onto Kade? That would be the best, right? There's only one fate left in the Phoenix player's pool, so if he plays this, if he does play a Cloak of Night, then what else could he play? He can't play any of his clarities. It's probably not too bad. There's nothing else that one fate really is going to get a whole lot of use for. The Crab players already used their military conflicts. He's clearly got something. They're clearly talking about something. Okay, it's another cloud. My gut says that Phoenix might not have another court games in hand. Because if you do, I don't think you care about one of your guys getting sent home. Although if it's KD, you don't get the Ring of Void. So maybe that was a consideration. So both players passing. Tadaka not getting activated. Zeren discards backhand complement random from the Ring of Earth. And Void goes on to Yakimo. Okay. Seems pretty good. So a political conflict now potentially from the Crab player. Air's got Fate on it. Signaler's coming in. It's a 1/1 character right now with this Dishonor token. During conflict, you must this character sacrifice it and choose a character you control. Ready the character and move to the conflict. So, if these two attack on political, you could see this Hikaru come in. But like we talked about before, Zeren being first player kind of gives up that last conflict opportunity. Like he has to decide now what he's going to do. Okay, Signaler hitting Upholding Authority with 2 skill. We're going to see the Tattooed Wanderer defend. So obviously, Tattooed Wanderer and Tadaka defend. I'm not quite seeing the line of play here. I mean, sure, winning a ring on defense is cool. But you know what's cooler? A second attack. It's a political, so clarity maybe? No, no fate. No fate on the Phoenix side. Zeren passes. What is it, L5R? What are we going to see? Is it Tadaka? Did you defend with Tadaka thinking he had to be in the conflict? Nope, just wanted a ring. The Crab right now is still going to have the Imperial favor. So I'm sure that some of those 14 cards in the Phoenix player's hand are censures, right? Making them essentially dead. Zeren plays Reprieve on Hideyakumo. See, not activating Tadaka could have been... Yeah, not activating Tadaka. It's kind of big. That could have hit the Reprieve potentially. Sukuna activating Void, because water basically doesn't do anything. Well, there's an interesting play. If you're in a Phoenix Mirror matchup and your opponent has a standing Visionary, Sukune could bow the Visionary to deny his ability. Just saying. Did he? What did he get with Tadaka? Did I miss it? Oh, he does. He hit Calling. You're right. I missed it. So Phoenix player first player right now and pulls out a Solemn Scholar to start with a fate on it. So this Starry Heaven Sanctuary might go off if the Ring of Void doesn't kind of get used to remove one of these fate. Crab opting to buy somebody out of the deck. I like buying the Solemn Scholar with one fate against Crab. I feel like it's good protection against Way of the Crab. The Phoenix player is playing really well against Way of the Crab right now. Only being a one-of in the Crab deck, you know, maybe the Crab doesn't even have it, but still good play. So we're getting a Vanguard Warrior out of the deck, discarding a Keeper Initiate, which is kind of nice. Opting not to buy the Butcher. Is the Butcher face up? Number of unbroken provinces. So the Butcher would be 4 or less right now. So still everybody on the table. There's a Butcher. Yeah, okay, there's a Butcher right here, so maybe he buys this one. Nope. Buys a Heated Casada for the Vanguard Warrior to defend. So we see another 4 to 5 bid. I'm not sure why Crab is bidding 4 instead of 5 right here. Not, I mean, you don't need to leech that much out of the Phoenix player right now, do you? I guess you want to stay less honorable for Yakimo. That's probably right. But you're already less honorable before that bid, right? Hmm. All right. K-Day attacking into water on Flooded Waste. Seems very safe. Coming in on political. So we've only got 6 political on the Crab side right at the moment. Maybe we see a defense from somebody to force some cards out of the Phoenix hand. One of his many, many 19 cards. And maybe we see a Mountain Doesn't Fall. I wonder how many of those are in the Crab deck. 3. Seems good. So no defender. He forces the Crab player to use the Vanguard Warrior early onto Heated Casada, so Heated Casada can't get bowed. Opting, looks like he's just going to let the Flooded Waste go. Break for break, Crab is ahead. The Phoenix player remembers Heated Casada this time and cancels him out with the Sorrow Sato. After losing this conflict, Heated Casada is going to be off for the rest of the game, rest of the turn. The floor pays a clarity, so K-Day doesn't bow, so K-Day is going to get another attack in, potentially, which means potentially 2 rings of void. Who are we waiting for? Phoenix. What's Phoenix thinking about? So Phoenix takes a fate off of Yakimo. And pacifies Casada. Phoenix like, chill, just chill, man. So that really narrows down the Crab options to a political conflict with Heated Casada, which doesn't sound very palatable at all. Maybe that's why the Butcher didn't get purchased, because he was afraid of the pacifism. And I think we discussed before that the Crab doesn't actually have any attachment control in his deck, right? So that pacifism is just going to stick. Just going to stick. This looks like a really good turn for Phoenix. Maybe they counterattack on fire or earth. he decided going for political against upholding authority. Upholding's got 4 strength at the moment because of the holding that's on it, and he's coming in on 3 skill because of the favor. Crab has watch commanders, which could skill bump here. Crab must be feeling under a decent amount of pressure right now because not being able to play with this Casada this turn means that this turn, Phoenix gets to get the work done that they need to. That said, I really would maybe have preferred Casada for the defense on defend the wall. What do you reckon this last province is? This is either Frostbitten or Cuny Wasteland. Is Crab doesn't look like they have anything. Maybe is this military? So maybe a raise the alarm. Raise the alarm. Do you have to flip the province that's being attacked? Yeah. Okay. So raise the alarm's not going to do anything because this province is already face up. So Phoenix coming in on 7 military skill, nothing to defend on the Crab side. Zeren passes, so all Phoenix need to do is pass as well, which they do. Smash out the Imperial Palace, meaning that for the first time this game they're going to get control of the favor. And Skune is going to be able to bleed Crab with a little bit of honor and honor herself, which is pretty good in its own right. Skirmisher. Who would have thunk it? So a skirmisher on the Crab side doesn't particularly need the covert with everybody being bowed right now. You're going to attack fire here, I think, as Crab. And he's going back to upholding. You can't go to Koromori because Koromori. Bonsais? Yeah, there's a few bonsais in the Crab deck. No worries though, because Solemn Scholar says we'll just turn you sideways. Did Crab forget about that? I certainly forgot about that. All right. So we're back to plan A, which is that Sukune is going to steal some honor and honor herself for next turn. So Phoenix looking in a fairly good position, 18 cards in hand, and they are on the Crab box. So if the Crab box is Frostbitten Crossing, then it's really not going to do much. If the Crab box is Cuny Wasteland, it's still probably not going to do a whole lot against these people. Crab's board has gone away. Not looking great for the Crab player right now, I got to say it. Oh my god, all 1-drops. 1-drops and a 2-drop for the Crab player. Shiva Sukune sticking around for another turn. Not that I think that that's going to happen. Crisis Breaker coming out of the deck for the Crab player. At least that's something. Problem is, of course, that the Crab player has got to do a decent amount of work before the Phoenix player breaks his strongholds, which means he kind of has to attack into upholding, break it, and then have something in the bank for defending his stronghold. Haughty Magistrate comes out. Haughty Magistrate's going to disable most of the Crab characters and not necessarily the Phoenix characters because he can increase the glory with the Phoenix box, making K-Day a 5. Oh, actually, never mind. If he puts the box onto the Haughty Magistrate, I think it's less. So K-Day doesn't get turned off at all. Yeah, so he can box the Magistrate, and then neither K-Day nor Sukune are going to get turned off. It's not looking good. Maybe the crab's distracted. Maybe they are, fighting off masses of onis and things like that, further south. Uh, Maybe that's what's going on. All right, so conflict plays. Zeren plays waning hostilities. So Phoenix has exactly one go, one go to break the stronghold. Can he do it? We shall see. I mean, the Phoenix play's got to cancel, right? Do you just cancel it? 22 cards in your hand. You've probably got at least two cancels. Nope. Waning hostilities goes off, and there is exactly one go. These Kaiju envoys, I feel like these Kaiju envoys are going to go and try and break up holding. Um, Probably whatever he was going to use with the skirmisher last turn is now going to get used on these envoys. Good thing there's two of them, so that if one of them gets bowed magically, mysteriously, he's got another one to play with. Oh, he's sending everybody. So does that mean he's got a conflict character? He does have 5 conflict characters in the deck, the crab player that is. There could be a Gunso or some skirmishers. I don't really think Phoenix actually cares about breaking the crab breaking this thing. I think the Phoenix player just lets it go, has a look at the crab hand, discards some good stuff, and then attacks political on the box. The 4 plays a display of power on a ring of fire, allowing him to honor the haughty magistrate, getting him even more skill, getting further and further and further ahead. So what has Crab got? Crab's got some bonsais. Fruitful cause. That's good because his crisis breaker can then maybe come into the next conflict. Indefensive Rokugan. So that's kind of telling the Phoenix player not to attack military. The Phoenix player gets rid of Fruitful Respite. Why? Why not a reprieve? Um, I don't. I don't know what's good. I don't know. Maybe that's a slash dance. That's what that is. All right, here we go. 21 cards in hand, 4 characters, 3 of them with honor tokens. The crab player attempts to ready, I guess, the crisis breaker. Yes, the crisis breaker, but it gets cancelled. Always fun. Was there another stand? There was not. There's a way of the crab. I think maybe you play the way of the crab to draw a card. Yep. Pay for themselves, those Kaio Envoys. They're great. 3 standing characters on the Phoenix side, all of them with honor tokens and a political favor, as in a political side of the Imperial favor, and the Antisaru Rosato onto the crab box. There are no attachments, which means that if this is Frostbitten Crossing, essentially nothing is going to happen. And if it's Kuni Wastelands, equally nothing's going to happen. Well, I guess you can't favor. Does Kuni Wasteland stop all triggered abilities or just characters? I think it's just characters. All right, so favorable ground is still a thing. On a political air, what is it? What is it? Kuni Wasteland. 19 versus Zip. What are we going to see? Is there anything left? I don't like we saw the hand a second ago. There's a Stoic Gonzo. That's it. There it is. What's he going to do? Spread the darkness? No. He gets assassinated. These players are just playing for lols right now, I feel. Like, neither the Gunso nor the assassination was necessary right there. Okay. And the crab player bows out of that match. Well, that was a bit of fun. Yeah, yeah. The It started out, I feel, pretty well, but I guess the Phoenix player just being able to keep a decent amount of value onto the table for a good chunk of that game, made some good investments on characters. Yeah, all good on the Phoenix side. So congratulations to France for taking that match. Condolences to Australia. Where does that put our standings overall? Let's see. So, uh, maximize this thing. Australia. Oh, no results have been entered, it looks like. Oh, actually, I don't think Australia's played any of its games. I think this is Australia's first game. So I guess that puts France in the lead. So 1-0 to France in the France versus Australia matchup. All right, well, I'm going to drop the stream again. Thanks very much to everyone. I think we've got another game in approximately 1 hour, or maybe a little bit more than 1 hour. Let me check. Check my calendar. 2 hours. So there's another game that we'll do in about 2 hours' time. So for those of you that are able to stay up late, looking forward to seeing you there. Thanks to the players. It was an interesting match. Thanks to everybody watching, and thanks to the organizers for organizing this greatest of great events. See ya.